Nepal is a very unique country, unlike anywhere else. Let's check it out. The airport of Lukla, Lue, in Nepal, has been rated the most dangerous airport in the world 20 times. Anyone trying to reach Mount Everest must use this airport. What makes Lukla Airport so dangerous is its short landing and takeoff strips in combination with the harsh winds and hilly surroundings. In Nepal, people's heads are considered sacred and of spiritual significance. Deeply rooted in cultural and religious traditions, this belief emphasizes the head as the highest and most revered part of the body. Touching someone's head, especially without permission, is considered disrespectful. Similarly, pointing the soles of your feet towards someone's head or a sacred object is considered impolite, as feet are the lowest part of the body. There are many Nepali taboos related to food, so it's important to take note of these facts to ensure you're being respectful. If eating with your hands, only use your right hand. Your left hand is for washing up after using the bathroom. Many Nepalese share a bottle of water at the table, so ensure your lips don't touch the bottle when drinking. Never eat off someone else's plate or offer food you've already taken a bite from. Also, it's considered very good manners to give and receive everything with your right hand, with your left touching your forearm. This not only includes food, but also payments and gifts. Nepal has a festival called Kukur Tihar, which is all about worshipping dogs. Throughout the country, you will see pets and street dogs decorated with a tika and have a flower garland draped around their necks. Kukur Tihar is a Hindu festival and falls on the second day of Tihar. This festival is to please the Hindu god, Yama, the god of death. Hindus believe that dogs are his messengers. The only living goddess in the world, the Kumari, is a prepubescent girl who's worshipped as the divine female energy, Devi. She's believed to be the incarnation of Talaju, a manifestation of the Hindu goddess Durga. The Kumari is appointed to protect Nepalese towns from evil and is worshipped by Hindus and Buddhists alike. The Kumari's feet cannot touch the ground. When the Kumari's first menstruation begins, the deity leaves her body, so a new goddess has to be found before this happens. It's considered bad luck if the current Kumari starts menstruating during her reign. The new Kumari is selected from the Shakya caste of the Newari Buddhist community. She's between 2 and 4 years old and has to have the 32 so-called attributes of perfection. Lumbini, in southern Nepal, is the birthplace of Siddhartha Gautama, who later became Buddha. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a significant pilgrimage spot for Buddhists. Lumbini is located close to the Indian border, in the Rupandehi district of the Lumbini province of Nepal. According to legend, Mayadevi, the Buddha's mother, was passing Lumbini when she was on her way from Kapilavastu to Devdaha, and it's here that she started experiencing labor pains. Gundruk, a fermented leafy green dish, is a unique and traditional Nepali delicacy. Dal bhat tarkari, lentil soup, rice, and curry, is the staple food, often eaten twice daily. Since 2015, the cow has been the national animal of Nepal. Cows are sacred to Hindus, as they're believed to be the reincarnation of the goddess Lakshmi, and it's strictly prohibited to slaughter them. This is also the case in India. You will never find beef on the menu, as cows are protected under the law, and it's illegal to kill them for food or otherwise. If this law is broken up, to 12 years in prison can be the consequence. Dairy farmers in Nepal are even known to set their cattle free once they stop producing milk. Nepal has a caste system. Many of us may associate the caste system with neighboring India, but this system is also widely used in Nepal. It was introduced to the country by Indian Hindus and is still used today. The caste system is divided into 4 groups of people: the Brahman, priests and teachers; the Kshatriya, warriors and rulers; the Vaisya, farmers, merchants, and traders; and the Sudra, laborers. These castes are both hereditary as well as permanent, and the caste people are born in has a big impact on their lives. One group that falls outside of the caste system are the Dalits, or the untouchables. Untouchables have few rights, and they are shunned by society. They were named the untouchables because the 4 main castes were forbidden to touch them. Although the government of Nepal illegalized caste-based discrimination in 1963, the caste system is still practiced in both Nepal as well as India. During the 1960s, Nepal was known as the weed capital of the world. Back then, weed lovers from numerous countries flocked to the country's capital, Kathmandu, especially Freak Street, to smoke joints. However, this came to an abrupt stop when weed was illegalized in 1973. Nepali citizenship. Unlike most Western countries, where being born in your country to local parents is enough to grant you citizenship, things are a little different in Nepal. When a child reaches 16 years old, they can apply for Nepalese citizenship. To acquire citizenship by birth, they need to permanently reside in Nepal and have a father who is a citizen of Nepal. Plus, to file their paperwork, they need to return to the village where they were born. And from Kathmandu to remote villages around Nepal, this can be an extremely challenging journey. For many, obtaining Nepalese citizenship may come easy, but for abandoned or orphaned children, this can be very difficult. In cases like this, the search for distant relatives from the father's side will commence. When visiting any sacred Buddhist site in Nepal, whether it be a monastery, temple, or stupa, it's important to remember to walk in a clockwise direction, keeping the site to the right of you. This also includes spinning pray wheels. Walking around sacred areas, clockwise, is called circumambulation. Buddhists believe that objects that need to be venerated, such as a stupa, a Bodhi tree, where Buddha once attained enlightenment, or any Buddha image, need to be circled around 3 or more times as an act of respect. Walking anti-clockwise is a sign of disrespect and is considered a sin. An ancient Tibetan funerary tradition called sky burial is performed in communities living in Nepal's Trans-Himalayan region that includes the Humla, Jumla, Dolpa, Mustang, and Manang districts. After death, the body is dismembered and set on an elevated location as an offering for sacred vultures. Sky burial is essentially an attempt to follow in the steps of the Buddha who sacrificed his own life to save a starving tigress. Giving up the human corpse to vultures is regarded as a final act of compassion and kindness. Vultures are said to carry the deceased's soul to heaven after exposing the body to the elements. In addition, it is also thought that after a sky burial, a person will reincarnate again as a human in the next life. Determining the funeral's approach is the first action taken once someone passes away in Nepal's Himalayan rimlands. A high priest typically analyzes a person's birth and death dates to determine what one of the 5 signs, earth, water, air, sky, or fire, they belong to. Based on the sign, the person is either burnt, buried, cut, and fed to fish, or chopped and fed to vultures. At the designated location, the body breakers chop the corpse into precise pieces. The nails on the tips of the fingers are burnt because they are thought to be poisonous to vultures. Once the offering is ready, the lama plays Damaru drum as an invitation for vultures wheeling overhead. If the vultures do not feed on the corpse, it is thought to be a bad omen, that the person has sinned, or that the ceremonies weren't carried out properly. Red is the most popular color for women in Nepal. Red is generally taken to be the color of life, of the glowing sun, and of passion. Married women in Nepal, therefore, are encouraged to wear dresses of red colors or other hues close to the color. The first time a woman in Nepal wears red clothes is for her wedding day. Red is a sign of purity, dignity, and honor. The color is especially meaningful for married women, as the red sari and other adornments visibly convey their cherished status. When a woman becomes a widow, she dresses in other colors other than red. Cars do not stop. Be careful crossing the streets in Nepal. What list of interesting facts about Nepal would be complete without a mention of the traffic? The traffic in Kathmandu is insane, even more so than in other countries in Southeast Asia. Nepal does not have traffic lights or traffic signs, stop, yield, speed limit, etc. And it has very few pedestrian crossing lines. Cars and motorbikes come and go from everywhere, so be careful and just go with the flow. Nepal has a 6-day work week, and Saturday is the only day reserved for rest. The streets, temples, markets, parks, etc. are busier on Saturdays, with the locals enjoying their only free day. Sunday is a normal day in Nepal, and even kids go to school on Sunday. You can no longer trek solo in Nepal. Before 2023, people used to hike independently in Nepal. However, in 2023, the Nepal Tourism Board announced that foreigners are no longer allowed to hike in the country without a licensed guide. This is due in large part to the cost of rescuing errant hikers in the rugged mountains, but also for the safety of hikers and rescuers.